How's it hanging, YouTube? Peter here, your Ginger Jody Geek. Welcome back to the channel for another Saturday Night Live. And you've got the I don't know what do we call ourselves as a threesome? Oh, a threesome. Oh, the fantastic
dream team, man.
the dream team,
Here we
the
are,
A team, the A team. Yeah.
When it comes
So,
to you two, I feel like the third wheel, to be honest.
the third wheel, yeah. Anyway, it is nice to be back on screen with my good pals from YouTube, my best buds. We've got James. How are you, James?
Ayo, what's up?
Good. Better. That's better. I prefer the AO. Are you
I don't
well?
care what you prefer. I'm very well, man. Yeah.
It's ages since I've seen you.
I know, right? Yeah, it's like fucking 7 hours or something like that.
Yeah,
Crazy. Yeah.
yeah.
You know, I got my snuddy, got my glass of wine. I'm ready to party.
That looks like a
Let's do
sample.
this.
Is that a urine sample? What's that?
No, that's a good idea though. Instead of
Yeah.
me having to go toilet during the show. Just
Lovely.
mute the mic. Who'd know?
Lovely. Just mute it. Yeah, nice, nice. And Luke, how are you, sir?
I'm very good, thank you. Glad to be back after my hiatus last week.
Yes, yeah, that's right. You weren't here last week. I forgot about that, yeah. So are you ready for lots of nerdy news to talk about this week?
There is, yeah. I picked a good week to come back.
Yeah, some good stuff to chat about. Okay, guys, just before we crack on, let's see who's in the chat. We have got good old StreamYard.
Go back.
Thank you for joining StreamYard. Always nice to see. And this is incredible. Freezy Figures, before we even started the bloody show, is giving away a $9.99 super chat. Thank you so much for that, bud. I've already messaged you to say thank you, but really that is appreciated. That will all go towards mental health charities. So thank you so much. I do appreciate it. We've got Werewolf by Lunchtime. He's talking to myself and you, James, obviously. He's saying hi, sexy peeps.
Of course.
Yeah. Nice to see you as well, Luke. I'm sure he's meaning. But you know, yeah, nice to see you. Always a pleasure to see you, bud. We've got Jesper RK from Sweden. Nice of you to join. Thank you very much. Always a
Guten
pleasure.
Tag or whatever we say in Sweden. It's not Guten Tag, I don't think. But
Whatever we say in Sweden. Let one know in the comments what we should be saying to you in Sweden, and we'll do it in our best Swedish accents. We've got good old for in a manjit part. And the thing is, I can't disagree with him.
that's spot on. That was as accurate as it gets.
Yeah. Very cool. Nice to see you, Fuzzy. We've got Deadman. Always nice to see you, my friend. And we've got Bat Dan. I tried to say AI. AI saying AO. Right, got you. Nice to see you, Bat Dan. We've got Sean as well. Thank you very much for joining, bud. And we've got my pal Big Dave, even from a freezing cold Durham train station, waiting for a massively delayed train.
Well,
I hope you get back in
The
time.
time will fly when you're watching this show.
Yeah. 'Cause I hope you get back in time, mate, because we're going to see Godzilla tomorrow. Looking forward to that. That's going to be fun, catching up with Dave and going to see Godzilla. Is it -0 it's called or something?
-1.
-1, is it? Okay. So yeah, looking forward to that. Well, I can't spell Geordie. I can't either, and I live here. Okay, guys, let's just crack straight on because we've got tons to get through tonight. Got some interesting tidbits of news. Fuzzy saying, you're getting worse at reading, man. Get dyspepsia and Stronto. It's the age, Fuzzy. It's the age. I've got my glasses here, but I look absolutely horrendous if I'm...
Oh, I saw him at the
You know what I
Meridian,
mean?
man. Oh,
Do you know what? I've recently had to start wearing glasses, and yeah, at the moment I can't see anything. I'll be totally honest with you
I've
guys.
been squinting doing my editing today, so I think I'm on the cusp as well.
I mean, this looks cool, doesn't it? Do I look a bit Clark Kent? Do you know
No,
what I
you look like Brains from Thunderbirds.
think? How dare you? How dare you?
do a Simon. Wave your hands up.
You got a real like Stephen Colbert to you now, I think.
I'll take that. I'll take a Kobe. Fuzzy, see, I knew Fuzzy was right. It's -0, James.
No, he's laughing at you for saying -0.
No, is he?
Minus
That's the
zero.
that's the
Jesus.
temperature in this room.
Like,
Fuck's
yeah.
sake, I don't know. Much love from
Chattanooga, Tennessee.
Chattanooga, Tennessee. Very cool. Thank you
Got a
very
lot of
much for
a
joining.
lot of new faces
Yeah,
today, guys.
yeah,
So it's hello.
very cool. Fuzzy, you cheeky bastard. And well, finally, Mrs. Werewolf wants to see Godzilla. I said, look out the window, he comes. It says Jesus, not James. Oh dear. Right, I'm taking the glasses off. Here we go. Let's crack on. So, going to talk about a lot of stuff tonight. Going to touch on some of the recent trailers. couple of trailers totally threw me by surprise. I wasn't expecting this this If thing and all the rest of it, but we'll talk about that in a bit. Talking news first, we're going to start off with this bit of comic book news, because I don't think we talk comic books enough, really. And this is the news that there's going to be a new mini-series with Storm of the X-Men basically going to resurrect Magneto. First off, I didn't know he was dead.
I was about to say I didn't know he was dead either. Yeah.
Apparently he died. I thought all the mutants couldn't die, but anyway, apparently he died. And the story is based around, and this is the interesting bit for me, the 7th Infinity Gem, the Ego Gem. Were you guys aware there was another gem?
No.
Me neither. So apparently this is a gem that went to, was it the Ultraverse? Remember they had a line of comics in Marvel a while ago. Malibu, I think, started it off, and it was called the Ultraverse, and it was like Prime, who was a young lad who beefed up and things like that. Apparently the gem is in the Ultraverse, so whether they're going to go to that universe and bring it back or not. But brings us on to the topic of resurrecting characters. Does this have, I know we've talked about it before with Camilla Khan and stuff like that, does this have any impact to you guys at all? Bearing in mind, this week we saw Moon Knight bite the bullet. He died. Do you give a shit about deaths and rebirths
No,
anymore?
because they're not really dead. They'll be back. Sometimes they're announced to be coming back before they even die in the comic, you know. So it means literally nothing, because these are, you know, valuable properties. So you're not going to just kill one, you know.
Yeah.
You need your action figures and your TV appearances and movies and everything.
What do you think, Luke?
Yeah, so I think this is all new to me, by the way. I'm just thinking on the spot. But I think it all depends on how it's utilized. So if this is used to return to the status quo and have him come back but be a villain again, like he was in the past, then absolutely go for it. It's fantastic, because it's a nice way to reset the character. Yeah. Whereas if they're just going to bring him back and he's going to still remember all his time as one of the good guys, or, you know, things, and maybe not so much. So depending on how it's used, I could see it going a long way, because obviously if Disney and Marvel are going to be making these movies with the X-Men, you have to return to the status quo. Magneto does have to be a villain. So as we all know, the comics tend to lean that way. They tend to set things up ready for the movies. So if this is that reason, perfect.
So I'm absolutely 100% with you, Luke, and I've been saying this for a couple of months, because I started rereading the X-Men books, and I had the Fall of X, and that's continuing on now. And basically that's my interpretation of the story. They're getting rid of a large proportion of the X-Men, whittling them down to a smaller number of mutants, and resetting, and I think it's purely for the introduction into the MCU. Interestingly, when I was reading the synopsis for this, I got a little bit excited because of the Ultraverse, because I would like to see some return to the Ultraverse characters. As Batman saying, Prime was really interesting character. But interesting in terms of the MCU, it had a line in the synopsis about this, when I was reading about the Infinity Gems, saying that the gems have, over the last few years, been destroyed and then reformed. But when they've reformed them, they've changed the colours of the gems, so it now suits the MCU colours of the gems. Right. So they've basically retconned it so it now fits in with the MCU narrative rather than the other way around, which I thought was interesting.
Well, so I do kind of see where they're going with this stuff now, because it used to be very much so that the comic book readers would drift into the movies, whereas now it's the other way around. You know, they're eager to get those movie fans over to the comic book audience. So I can see why they're catering for them in that way, and I think we're going to probably see more of it. There's going to be more of a merge moving forward.
Yeah, no, I agree. Fuzzy is just saying here, oops, where's my clicker? Moon Knight dies and a new run starts in a month. Pointless. I agree, Fuzzy. I mean, it's not that long since Moon Knight died and came back anyway. Do you know what I mean? It feels like it's every year he dies and gets better. Bat Dancing Prime with art by Bray Fogel was great. I loved the Prime series. That was really interesting, mate. Von Hoot! Even can't stay but wanted to hit that thumbs up and say you're all majestic beasts. Thank you very much. Yeah, we'll take that. Fuzzy, people moan about it in comics, but every time there's an MCU discussion, everyone wants Iron Man, Cap, or Loki brought back. I think what I would say, I think you're right, but I think what I would say is don't kill them in the first place. Don't make that. And Matt, I'd be interested in what the guys say. I have to be honest, my personal thought is I don't want Cap or Iron, or I don't want that version of Cap or Iron Man brought back. I'm happy with the ends to their stories.
Yeah, their
James,
death
what do you
was-
think?
Their deaths were meaningful in.
Yeah.
Well, like Iron Man's death certainly was so meaningful in that movie. It would cheapen it so terribly to just resurrect him and bring him back.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I agree, particularly with Cap and Iron Man. Luke, what do you think?
Yeah, so what I want is going to upset a lot of people.
Oh, here we go. I
I
mean, we're only how many minutes are into the show,
10
and Luke's
minutes,
already
10 minutes.
I don't
upsetting
think-
the internet.
I don't think it will I don't think it will upset you guys, because I do think you'll agree with where I'm coming from, because it will be something different and fresh. But I think for the majority audience out there who love the MCU, they will hate it. I think they should bring Iron Man back, especially in Secret Wars, and everyone should be rallying around him and cheering. Oh my God, we got Mr. Stark back, amazing, great stuff. But have him be the villain. I think in all the trailers, then everyone will be super excited. Robert Downey Jr. back, have him all come across, and people will see him. He'll swoop in and save the day, and all the rest of it. But he will be like the Doctor Doom of that story. He'll be the one that steals Galactus's power, or goes against the Beyonder, or does something that he shouldn't do, and then they will have to kill that Iron Man. They'll have to defeat that Iron Man. Maybe not kill, but send him to another world.
You just make it, don't you, the link of the natural progression of Avengers 2. So it's just them continuing on that narrative of them wanting to wrap around the world.
But then I just feel like then you're giving everyone what they want. You're getting Robert Downey Jr. back, who's a fantastic actor, but you're not tarnishing what came before, and you're getting a new, darker version of the character.
Yeah. They did that in the comics a while ago, mind, and it didn't go down well at all.
Yeah, I think
what
people
was
would
that?
hate that, to be honest. Like,
what
I think
was
if
that
it was done well, it'd be really good.
What was the series? It was awful. I mean, they're getting rid of it completely now, but basically Marvel decided they wanted a younger version of Iron Man running around because he would be more popular.
Not Invincible Iron Man?
No. So they basically they made it so that Tony Stark had been working with Kang for the last 20, 30 years of continuity, and it was just shit. Utter shit. The Crossing. It was called The Crossing. That's just coming to my mind. Dreadful series. But yeah. Well, by lunchtime. Can't remember the last time I read a modern comic that I licked. Yep, I eat my dinner off from spilled gravy. Very cool. Actually, do you know what, mate? I would agree with that until probably the last year or two, where I really started picking up a lot more modern comics. I even drifted back into Marvel. And I'm so pleased I did, because runs of like The Punisher have been phenomenal. My personal feeling is if you keep away from the big event books, keep away from your Spider-Mans, sadly, and your X-Men books, you're probably all right, because that's just shit. But the other stuff, there's some good stuff out there. You guys won't mind. You two must be special, very special.
Fuzzy, you're special too. Sorry.
Yeah, Fuzzy's special. Fuzzy won't mind. Now, Luke, you're up. Tell her about this.
So this is all to do with the layoffs at Hasbro, right? So when this news came about, I can't say I was surprised, but I think that a lot of people are maybe pointing out the wrong reasons. Like, again, I haven't really looked into it, so I don't know what reasons are floating around. So if anyone does know what the spin on the story is, let us know in the chat.
Hasbro are putting it down to dropping toy sales.
Yeah, so that was going to be my thing. So some people will look at it and say, oh, it's because the latest Marvel movies aren't doing so well. People don't want those figures, don't want those toys. But then we have to remember as well, they went down this whole environmental route where they literally destroyed themselves for no reason. They've reverted back to it since then. But now these poor people right at Christmas time are now suffering for that reason. Had they not have tried to morally do that right thing of the box packaging and environmentally friendly and everything, and ruin everybody's collections by changing the formats, I don't think they would have run into these problems. I think that was a huge drop off for a lot of people, myself included. I just gave up on it. I stopped.
I think I hear what you're saying, but I think from what I've read, I mean, the Hasbro lines are much wider than some of those figures, and I think it's going down as a general decline in toy sales in general, not about specific lines. Interestingly, one of the other things is they've just bought Wizards of the East Coast, the kind of the trading card company, which is one of their only kind of departments that's making a massive profit, and they're doing layoffs there as well.
Is that the Dungeons and Dragons company?
Yeah. Magic the Gathering, I think, is owned by them. But yeah, they're doing layoffs in that side as well. So I don't know. It's it's a huge company, Hasbro, isn't it? I
It's
suppose.
it's so sad to hear so close to Christmas.
Yeah,
You know, that's not what people want. That's unnecessary stress.
yeah. And I think one of the things I saw it on a stream, our friend Super Sorrel was talking about it the other day, saying, "Oh, I haven't read this. I'm just taking it from what he said, that the layoffs are going to be spread over like a 2-year period. So there is a bit of kind of bittersweet. You're still losing your job, but it's not going to be like instantaneous, I think. But it's shit. We don't want to see people losing the jobs any time of the year. And also, if the narrative is to be believed that this is all about a decline in toy sales, as geeks, that's a bit of a worry, because if you're not selling it, you're going to start restricting the product, aren't you? You're not going to go for the more, dare I say, unique, rare characters. You'll stick on what you know is going to people are going to spend money on.
That's probably what they've run into problems with. Is some characters have a very small fan base, and I know, like for completionists, people cry for some of these characters, but they're the ones that end up in the £5 bargain bin.
I mean, do you know what, James? You're absolutely right. And Luke, I'm not getting at you, but what I would say is, we've talked a lot about how these toys need to appeal to the kids who are going to see them on the shelves. I know you were a big fan of, say, the Aunt May figure. How many kids are going to be rushing to the shelves to buy an Aunt May figure?
I 100% agree, but that's why they packaged her in with a Dr. Octopus. You know, that's why they done that. My argument has always been that it goes to, the kids come first, but not necessarily for them to spend the money, because it's not the kids going out and buying the stuff. It has to be the parents, the relatives, the other school parents, buying gifts for children's parties and stuff like that. That's where it really needs to market to. And at the end of the day, it's not, people aren't buying as many toys. Kids are on the apps now. They're buying their games and vouchers and things.
I mean, the other thing is, and I know you've talked about it on your channel, Luke, the fact of the matter is, even your most basic action figure, because there are some shitty ones out there that have got no articulation and all the rest of it, aimed at kids, I suppose, are still bloody expensive. Yeah. Toys are not cheap, to pick up off the shelf.
This is why I loved those Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle Mutant Mayhem figures so much, because they were the perfect base point for the price of, £10 or was it like £11 each, something like that. But you could purchase all 4 turtles for the price of like one NECA action figure. That was incredible. Like, I rushed out to buy those for my kids, and myself, to be honest.
Side note slightly, but you obviously I'm a big 1/6 scale collector. Hot Toys have done a real interesting move just recently. So their figures, on average, run for around about £250 to £280. That's probably an average price for a hot toy. They've teamed up, can't remember the name of the company, but they've teamed up with another company now, and they're doing a comic book line. So Wolverine's the first one coming out, and they're calling it an entry level price. So in the UK, after shipping all that kind of jazz, you can probably pick up a 1/6 scale Wolverine for around about £170, which I know is still very expensive, but in terms of a hot toy level quality and figure, that's an interesting move for them to jump down to that level.
I actually believe that that's the sweet spot for a 1/6 action figure. £200 is a really nice area for that. Like, that's when I would consider purchasing one, as opposed to the 300, the 400, 500 plus figures.
And I've had a good look at that figure, and it's. I mean, I've ordered it obviously, but it's pretty good. Do you know what I mean? It looks good quality. So it's interesting times.
I think as well, their priority should be on the big characters. Like, you can't at the moment walk into a shop and buy a normal Spider-Man figure for retail price. You're going to be looking on secondhand market because they sell immediately. So maybe it would have been good for them to have pulled back on the more obscure characters and just made more Spider-Mans.
Yeah. Jump into the comments, guys, because we've got lots of people commenting. Well, by lunchtime, I want to see a live action version of the origin of Cap's light veiled chest. Yeah, I'd watch that. We've got Connie in the house. Nice to see you, Connie. Hi, besties. Fuzzy, I think he's directing this at one of the panel. The prices have gone up because people have started buying toys from AliExpress. Well, by lunchtime. Hi, Connie. Thanks for your forthrightness, but we've never met, so I'll not be buying you towels for Christmas. Nice to meet you. Connie, damn it, werewolf. I was wanting new towels. What am I supposed to do now? Buy them myself. Fuzzy's saying toys are expensive. Simples, yeah. Connie, yeah, Beyblade's still a massive thing. Tons of them in the shop. I went into Entertainer a couple of weeks ago, and they still had bloody boxes and boxes of those. Do you remember you used to buy the like elastic bands, coloured elastic bands, loom bands or something? Bags and bags of them. I thought, who the hell's still buying them? They were like 10 years ago. Yeah, let's have a look. I remember fighting with people over baby blades in primary school. Yeah, been around a long time. Fuzzy, but you can buy any of 20 Wolverines available.
That's fair.
That's fair as well.
Different versions of them, so.
Interesting. Good topic, Luke. Thank you for that. I wanted to mention this briefly. This is a bit of interesting. Well, I found it interesting. Earlier this week, good old James Gunn came out and said something along the lines of he was sick of cameo porn in superhero movies, and that he believed that it was too much seeing all these kind of, characters on screen for a few minutes. That led someone to kind of check him a little bit and say, well, hang on, in your new Superman film, you've announced like 10 different characters. And he said none of them are cameos. They've all got significant roles in the movie. Now, this scares the crap out of me. I don't want to go and see a Superman film which has got 10 characters. I want to see a Man of Steel movie. Do you know what I mean? I kind of thought it was okay when I thought there were just going to be shorter cameos in them.
Well,
but it doesn't
I would
sound
imagine like a lot of them will be together, so it'll be one or two sequences where they're important, and then that's kind of it.
Yeah. Not sure. I'm not sure what I think. Efren's been drinking. He. She? I don't know. Or is that a Michael Jackson? He. Is that what we're... Oh, nice.
So, yeah.
Oh, no, we've got a hey, guys. So it's a he. Hey, guys. Yeah. Nice. Hope you're well, Efren. Luke, what do you think about this? Are you interested in all these cameos?
So, yeah, I mean, when it comes to the DC universe, I'm just going to take a wait and see approach. I don't really know much about the DC universe, to be honest. I'm quite a newbie in that area. But I do also understand where he's coming from with his argument against these cameos, because I do feel like a lot of the time, especially with the end credits for films, a lot of the time it's just a case of, let's go see who's cameoing in this film or who's going to join the threads for this one. And I know we all sound like old farts when we say it, but I just want to go back to watching a standalone film and just enjoy it for what it is. I need a film that can stand alone by itself and not lead on to so much.
Yeah. And I would use, in terms of DC movies, it did have cameos, but I would use Blue Beetle as an example of that. You don't need to know anything about the character. He doesn't need to have a subsequent film. I hope he does, but he doesn't need to. It was just a fun jaunt, It's silly and it's childish, but it's a good movie. Werewolf by Lunchtime, yes, mate, that's Mr. Terrific. That's an Alex Ross Justice Society cover image, I think. But Mr. Terrific is going to be appearing in the Superman movie.
It's kind of played Darwin in X-Men First Class, isn't it?
Yeah.
I like him.
Just make good movies, James Gunn. Absolutely, Efren. Absolutely. Okay, guys, moving on from this. This is a news from an interview with Jack Snyder, where he said that if Zack Snyder.
Zack
Snyder. Yeah, Zack Snyder.
Zack's brother, is it Jack?
Yeah, Jack's his stage name actually, James.
Okay, right.
Zack Snyder. Listen, I'm old, right? Give it when you're my age. See if you can string a sentence together.
No, just put those glasses back on.
Yeah,
Well, there you go.
that won't help us with remembering names, will it? Okay, so Bill Snyder's film Justice League. He's gone on to say that he would be, if Netflix wanted to, he would continue the Justice League universe at Netflix. Netflix. Now, interestingly, what he said was, but the condition of that would be that Netflix had the license for the characters, which makes no fucking sense. Of course, they would need the license for the character. How else would they do it? Do you know what I mean? So, not sure what that was about. But yeah, what do you think of this? Would you like to see more from this universe, or have we prattled on about this for far too bloody long now, and we just need to accept that it's gone? James.
I mean, I love the Snyder stuff. I think it's a tragedy that it got cut short, but I mean, at this stage, it's just sort of, it's gone. I mean, I'd love it to happen, but I'm not gonna champion it happening anymore, and I'm kind of sick of hearing about it unless something actually happens,
Yeah. No, I agree. Hi, Austin. Nice to see you. Luke, before I come to you, just going to mention Fuzzy here. I see the Hollywood Reporter announced Pom.
Yeah.
Can't mention what's that
Clementoff?
name? Yeah. In Superman, he came out straight out and said, no, he's not in it. They also, I don't know if it was the Hollywood Reporter, but they also announced that Kurt Russell was going to be playing Zor-El. Jor-El.
That's great casting, though.
Well, no, James Gunn has come straight out and said, no, absolutely not.
Yeah, but just as an idea, I think he would suit that so well. Do you know, I'd actually like to see that.
Nice to see you, Austin. Fuzzy, bollocks to the Snyderverse. Luke, what do you think?
Yeah, I haven't really seen much of the Snyderverse, to be honest. You know, I've watched the odd film here and there. So I watched Man of Steel, which I liked. A lot of people don't. I thought it was fine. I've never seen Batman versus Superman. The only other film that I've seen after that was Aquaman, which again I thought was all right. But I'm not against it. You know, it's definitely not me picking sides or anything. I just haven't ever thought about them. You know, I've always been a Marvel kid. I've always been, you know, like the more independent stuff like your Turtles and stuff like that. I've just never really gravitated outside of Batman, you know. So I know people love Batfleck. You know, I think they all love him as a character. But for me, it's always been Keaton. I still go back and watch those, or I watch the Dark Knight trilogy from Nolan. I'm not really a binger of all the Warner Brothers side of content.
You see, the Snyderverse had some real lows, but it also had some great bits. You know, in Batman versus Superman, you get that amazing Batman takedown scene in the warehouse, which is probably my favorite Batman scene of all time. You know, it's
also, I mean, this is the thing. So I've seen all those scenes, like through osmosis and through like pop culture and stuff. You do see all that stuff, and I've just never sat down and watched the whole movie.
The Ultimate Edition, like, is a vast improvement on the theatrical. Like the studio sort of chopped it up in the cinema, so like a lot of plot threads like make more sense in that. So like it is actually genuinely good. His Justice League, I'd love. Like I think that's one of the best superhero movies of the last while. You know, so just for closure, it would have been nice.
Yeah, I agree.
To have just given him a mini series and say, here's one season, 6 episodes, wrap it up. You know, that nice. Or an animated movie, even, or a comic book. You know, just to see
for me,
that story was going to go.
I would be happy with a Justice League 2, where we get Darkseid. You know, the League take on Darkseid, and I think it's criminal that we didn't get a standalone Batfleck film.
Yeah,
I would have loved a Batfleck film. Austin is saying, would I like to? Yes, I'd love to see it to completion. So many storylines. Batman solo movie. Yeah, and we teased Deathstroke. I forgot about that. That would have been pretty good as well. I would have liked that. Man of Steel is brilliant. It is. It's a good movie.
So underrated. Like
up until the end. Not
again. You know, I think the biggest problem is that they keep trying to franchise everything, because we could just have a Batfleck film and just say one and done, and that would be fine. You could even give them a trilogy if you wanted to, but just don't have it that's everything. Don't put all your eggs in one basket. Like literally, they got to trust the audience a bit more. I've said this repeatedly. You know, we could have all 3 actors playing Spider-Man right now in their own versions, their own films, their own universes, and not have it it be a big multiversal saga. It can just be standalone films with those actors playing.
I thought that's where we were going after the last one. To be honest, I thought that was the whole point of it, to start 3 separate franchises. Fuzzy's just saying, you'd think after all this time Snyder would have found something else to do.
His Rebel Moon now.
He has, and it's dog shit apparently. I've not watched it yet, but it's getting horrendous reviews.
I've seen all of his movies have always been divisive. Watchmen, I remember seeing 3 out of 10. Some places give it. His Justice League got like 3 out of 10 from GameSpot. So I'll wait to see it. I know it is more generally negative, but like, you know, I might still like it because I like the movies anyway.
Yeah. Fuzzy, you're not missing anything, Luke. Batman vs Superman is great for 2 hours, but too much extra crap. That's fair. And just fast forward all the Lex Luthor bits, because it's awful. Okay, next. Just wanted to mention this. This is Thundercats issue number 1, coming from Dynamite, starting in January. There's a whole host of special covers out. I just wanted to give people a nod. Fuzzy, I don't know if you're getting a lot of these issue 1s, but Clayton Crane has got an exclusive variant cover going live on his website tomorrow. I think it's 6 p.m. our time. Only 300 copies available. Not a massive fan usually of Clayton Crane's work, but this looks pretty impressive. I'm praying to every god out there that this is half as good as Transformers. Because if it is, what a golden time we are living in for a geek like me. If we just need a He-Man book next. Do you know what I mean? If we've got a superb, because it is superb Transformers book, Thundercats and He-Man, would be amazing. Any of you guys picking this up?
I have never seen or read a single Thunderbirds thing. Thunderbirds?
Thunderbirds.
Thundercats.
Thunderbirds.
Thundercats. I misspoke, Peter.
Thunder fucking birds. Honestly.
Can't believe he
swear
said that
God.
to you.
I know. Bastard.
Thunderbirds are go.
What the shit?
Cats eat birds.
Yeah.
I've never gotten into it. I don't know. I just kind of missed it. It was before my time, you know. And
I mean, we've
nothing to get into.
Me and Luke have talked before about it's criminal that we've not had a new He-Man film. It's criminal that we've never had any interest in Thundercats for years. In terms
Have you
of
seen the
live action.
fan-made CGI intro?
yeah.
It's so
Yeah.
good.
Very cool. Yeah.
Been around for
Very
years
cool.
now, but so good.
Yeah. I would love to see more done with Thundercats. But yeah, very cool. Fuzzy is just saying, I'll buy a couple probably, but that's it. I've got reservations after the last He-Man comic. Yeah, I'm the same. The last He-Man run didn't do anything for us. I have to
When's
say.
the new season of the show, the Netflix show?
It's coming soon.
Comes
like
soon,
I'm
yeah.
not sure exactly when it is. It might be January, February time. Like it's definitely coming.
I feel like it's been coming for ages, but we've had the teaser and stuff, which looked amazing, with them fighting Scareglow and stuff like that. But yeah, very cool. Okay, moving on. I just threw these in last minute. These have literally just been shown today. There's a big toy fair on. I can't remember what it's called, but basically these are the new Mondo 1/6 scale Orko figures in their line. So you get the alternate head sculpt, you get the little Orko, and you get the, can't remember her name, Luke. What's the female Orko called?
Oh gosh.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's in a He-Man, so it'll be Orkette or something like that, surely.
No,
Do
it
you know what I
isn't.
mean?
It isn't.
Yeah.
It's something else. But my mind's gone completely blank.
It's interesting to me that they've gone with kind of the updated cloth costume.
I do like that they've got his head of what he looks like underneath. Because for
Yes.
those of you who don't know, that is what he looks like. That little blue head beneath the female
Yeah.
equivalent.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what he looks like.
Right.
Yeah.
I just
What-
never imagined him having an actual face. You know, it's like just the eyes in the darkness. Like
It was my first mini viral video that I ever made. Was my Orko video, just
Yeah.
explaining who he was. I loved the character so much, and these look fantastic. If anything was going to get me into collecting 1/6 scale, it's definitely this He-Man line.
Be really interested to see what the price point on this is, because it's not a big figure. That's probably why they're chucking so many little additional sculpts. and
But I
things
think
with it.
that's justified, because even if the price is near the same as what you would be paying, as long as they give you enough of those extras, I think it's okay.
I think
that's Driel,
Fuzzy's,
yeah.
yeah.
Yep.
I mean,
There was an old man
buying this.
version as well, wasn't there? I can't remember what his
Yeah.
name was, but they both appeared together, both Driel and this other character.
I will be buying this. I just think it looks great. So yeah, I'll be picking that up. Also announced, not a good image, but yeah, we've got Teela. I don't think I'll be picking this one up. I have to
The
say.
face looks off.
shut up, Peter. Of course you will. I know you, and you're gonna buy this.
Out of all of my Mondo He-Man figures, She-Ra's the weakest of them all. It's not a strong figure in terms of articulation and how steady it is, and that looks very similar to the body they've used.
It's probably the same body.
Yeah, so I
You're
don't
still
know.
gonna buy it though. You're gonna want your
I mean, you're
kid
right.
to-
You are right, James. At this
don't
point in
kid
time,
yourself, like-
I'm not buying it. I'm not buying it.
Right.
Seems I didn't
Because
wanna
it's not
buy it, that's
available to
there.
purchase yet.
Correct. Well done. Yeah. Yeah. This is interesting. So this is the Spider-Man freshman year that they talked about a couple of years back now. Has been retitled Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man and moved the release date. This is the characters that are going to be appearing, which is interesting because this was it called Slingers? I think the series, where each of them was a different identity Spider-Man was using at one point, and then they became their own characters. You don't remember this, Luke?
Web slingers, was it?
I think it was just called Slingers initially, but it was a run where Peter Parker was basically trying out a whole host of different identities. So he was all of those characters,
Oh, okay.
and then when he came back to being Spider-Man, they became characters in their own right or something.
I don't recall that at all. I don't remember
It
that.
was pretty poor. Prodigy, I think, is the guy in the gold from memory. I'm not sure. But this looks kiddie friendly. I'm hoping this will be okay.
I much prefer this title. I think it's a way better title, to be honest. No, I'm really excited for this because it's sort of somewhat MCU adjacent. It's like Charlie Cox is in it, isn't he? And Vincent D'Onofrio, and there's a few other kind of MCU cameos. So like a lot of the kind of aesthetic will be pulled from that. It'll just be like an alternate universe, spin-off, I guess.
Luke, what are you thinking? Excited about this?
I just hope that it's going to be good. I'm a really big fan of that 94 Fox cartoon. Like, for me, nothing surpasses it. Don't get me wrong, Spectacular Spider-Man 2 seasons were absolutely phenomenal, but my nostalgia is for that 94. Like, I still watch both of those with my kids as opposed to anything else that came out afterwards. So I'll give this a go, but will it come close to my love for those? Maybe not. We'll have to just wait and see.
We'll give it a go. I'm the same. I'll give it a go. Look, it's piqued my interest, I have to say. Another animated series, just to mention briefly, is that Disney have announced that there's going to be a Wakanda cartoon series come out, which is basically the plot for it is they send out emissaries to travel the world and find vibranium. I have no interest in this at all.
Is that... I thought it was like the history of what it was like previous Black Panthers. It was like the history of Wakanda.
I don't think so. Well, maybe I've read the wrong.
That's what I thought it was. Oh.
I've got no interest in. I don't know if it's just because of the last film or what, but I've kind of, I don't know. Black Panther's not interesting us anymore.
It really just comes down to, though, is it good? Like if it comes out and it's getting amazing scores and you watch it and it's amazing. Like I remember when Spider-Verse was announced, I was like, what? Oh, it's Sony milking Spider-Man. So you never know. Like, it can blow everybody away.
Fuzzy is just saying, what if next week? Cannot wait. We'll be doing some in-depth reviews of that. Fuzzy, looking forward to that. Werewolf, who buys this rubbish? I think he's talking about the figures. Luckily, I have a cat who is a massive pop culture fan, and he said I can have the figure if he can have the box. That's a win-win right there. Yeah. Luke, are you interested in... Oh, well, I keep the box, so you couldn't get my box.
Pristine condition.
Yeah. Luke, are you excited by a Wakanda series?
So when I first saw this image, I thought this was just going to be like a live action like series or film based on the new T'Challa, the young boy that we saw in the second movie. Yeah. And I thought it was just going to be kind of ramping him up so that he can then make appearances in movies. Obviously, I got it way wrong. Like, obviously, I was nowhere near the mark of what this was about. Again, I'll give things a go. When it comes to these sort of series, I always give the same, whether it be comic books or whether it be a TV show. I'll give it a few episodes or a few issues, and if I like it, I'll carry on. Otherwise, I'll let it slide.
I think that's very fair, mate. Very fair. Fuzzy, I don't think enough people are real Black Panther fans. I think people were more fans of Chadwick than the character. I agree with that, I have to say.
Now, they are ramping up, like, Black Panther stuff. There's 2 video games currently in development. You have this animated series now as well, so like his exposure is kind of getting bigger.
I mean, I can't remember who we talked about it to at the time, but I wouldn't be surprised if that young lad, there's some time shenanigans goes on via Kang or Secret Wars, and he gets aged up to take on the mantle of Black Panther. Or
they just do a time jump in universe. We got
but they can't do that. They can't do that for all the other characters, can they? Do you know what I mean? You want a time jump so he can join the Young Avengers.
I suppose,
you can't.
Well, yeah. Otherwise, like, wouldn't Haley Atwell be like 30 or something? So the character would be 30. Yeah. Okay, fair.
Yeah. Last slide. We started on Resurrection, so we'll end on Resurrection. Beast in the comics. What a crock of shit. So over the course of the last year, basically he's got Evil Air, and Evil Air now he's basically one of the big bads in the X-Men universe. So they've decided they're going to kill him off. And the only way to do that is to resurrect a previous version of the Beast. So that's the current storyline in X-Force. We're going to get a fresh-faced, resurrected young Beast killing himself and then no doubt replacing himself as a good Beast. So just resetting the entire friggin' thing.
You've lost me already.
Bullshit. Just bullshit. I mean, we're getting back to X-Men being so I picked up an X-Men book this week, and I shouldn't have. It did me head in. And it was set on the moon, and Storm was in charge of this group of mutants. I didn't recognize anybody in them, and they were fighting Apocalypse's wife's army. It was just awful. But yeah, that's X-Men news for you guys. What we've been reading. I want to touch on a couple of comics that I've been reading this week. I have got to recommend everybody rushes out and buys all 3 of the comics I'm going to talk about. I've had one of those rare days today where my wife was out and my son was attached to the sofa watching TV. So I've managed to catch up on a few issues worth of some books. So this is Killmore. I've read all 3 issues now. So I've read today issue 2 and 3. Interested in the chat if anybody's read this. This is basically about a town or a city in America where it's gone to rack and ruin. It's absolutely shit creek. A large proportion of the population have ran, a large proportion of the police have gone, so it's kind of all like martial law. In the first 2 issues have set up that basically there's a whole host of very entertaining and very unique murderers and serial killers arriving in this town and killing people left, right and centre, and you've got kind of a core group of characters who are police officers who are trying to explain and figure out what's going on. Latest issue has hinted, I think, that all of these serial killers have been invited to come to the city because it's kind of free reign. So there's going to be more to that. It's just a genuinely entertaining book. Each book has got the core of the police characters, but you're introduced in each issue to 4 or 5 different serial killers, dispatching people and killing people in interesting and strange ways. So that panel on the end there is a lady who's talking to this guy outside of a grief counselling kind of meeting, and it's all very nice and stuff, and then she touches his face and he basically melts. So yeah, it's a really, if you like crime and murder, it's a real interesting series to read. Tragedy Tales, nice of you to join, mate. They're saying, currently reading through Invincible. Oh, yeah, stunning book, stunning. I've got all 3 volumes of the compendiums and they're amazing. Fuzzy saying he loves Killmore. Yeah, really entertaining. First issue starts with a little old lady who's like someone from the Golden Girls, driving around, knocking people over and then reversing over them and stuff like that. It's just, so yeah, well worth reading. I take it neither of you guys have read this, no?
No.
Sounds
We're
like
very going to check it out, though.
Yeah, it is worth a read. The cover for issue 1 is fantastic. I haven't read issue 3 yet, but I loved it so far. Took the guy 10 years to write. Fuzzy, I think you'll love issue 3. Yeah, it's just a cool series. This is another great series. And I think sometimes we forget, and I'll butcher his name, but we forget what a phenomenal writer J. Michael Straczynski is. I mean, this is the guy who did Babylon 5. He did a run on Spider-Man, which some people love, but, you know, there's some dodgy stuff in there, it's fair to say. But he also did a great book, Rising Stars, which is a phenomenal book about people getting superpowers. And now he's doing this, and this is just, again, breathtaking. This is a story, it's basically the Justice League, a world with a Justice League. And this lady, who's a crook, has settled down with a partner and 2 children. And for whatever reason, they decide to drop a bomb on her and kill her and her family, which basically splits her personality and she goes mad. And it's a story of her hunting down the superheroes and killing them all one by one. And it's been really good, really entertaining. So yeah, recommend you read that one as well. Next, Luke. Now, I've read this today, all 3 issues. 3 issues? 2 issues?
I've only read 2.
Maybe 2 issues. Yeah, I think it's 2 issues. James, you've got to get on this. I'm going to spoilers for people in a second. This is Beneath the Trees Where Nobody Sees. Dr. Von Who's got onto this. You start reading it, and it's like Wind in the Frickin' Willows or Sylvanian Families. There's all these animals who are just having a jolly chat. The bear is a lady, and she owns a hardware store, and it's just lovely. And this is for like half the book. It's really nice and interesting. The artwork is friggin' spectacular. And then you get this last panel where she's popping into the city for a bit. And this nice bear woman, spoilers in the next page, guys, but this nice bear woman basically pretends she's broke her car down, subdues the duck, puts him in the boot, and then just chops him up and buries him in paint cans. And then she mentions that this is the 40-odd body she's buried, and she pops home and has a bath. I don't want to go into too many spoilers for the second episode, But the second episode is even better than this one, and it introduces a second serial killer in a pig character. Luke, what did you think of this?
I loved this, and I'm so glad that Dr. Von Who brought it to our attention, because when he did, I too went looking for the first copy of issue 1 that had sold out. It was a low print run. I managed to pick up a copy for around £30. So, it hasn't gone to the moon, but, this is brilliant. This is phenomenal. Like, this is everything that I could have hoped it would be based on that cover. I think this artwork is beautiful and really doesn't fit the story, but that's why it works. It's also whimsical and reminds you of childhood, but then it's got this dark story and this dark undertone, and it really reminds me of the show Dexter.
So I was going to say that, Luke, except my only caveat to that is, in Dexter, he was, you could almost accept the character because he was killing bad people. This person isn't. I mean, that poor duck was just passing by, and just for. I mean, there's no even real explanation as to why she's doing it. Just it helps clear my mind a little bit, and you can't say that well on the image, but that's his brain and stuff, sectioned nicely. Issue 2 is even more graphic, and I'm there for it. It's James, you're a slasher fan. There are 3 or 4 pages in issue 2 of kind of a slasher movie scene, which you will just love. Right, honestly, okay. It's
I love the idea, the concept. There was a game like 10 years ago called Naughty Bear, and sort of a similar thing where it was like a whimsical kind of universe, and then like Teddy Bear kind of goes on a killing spree. But I love that juxtaposition. I think that's really clever. So yeah, I'll check this out.
Fuzzy's just saying he can't justify 40 quid for it. Fuzzy, I would get this in trade paperback where it comes out, mate.
So there's 6 issues, right?
Yes.
Yeah. It's a 6-part series, and it will probably carry on. It will probably go on to something else.
I hope so.
I love it so much. And I was so happy when you sent the message saying, I want to talk about this. I was like, yes, because it's the only thing that I've really sat down and read. It's fantastic.
The interesting thing for me, which I was trying to get my head around, because there's a picture in issue 2 of, there's a character that's a pig, and she's looking in a shop window, and there's pigs' heads because it's a butcher. All of these animals are walking around, but there are normal animals with them. So a couple of them have got pets. So one of them's got like a dog as a pet and stuff, and then there's foxes, and another bear walks past her at this scene, and just kind of walks past, as a bear. Yeah. But she's a bear. Do you know what I mean?
I think this is all part of the psyche, right. So Life of Pi, the book and the movie, where people believed that the kid was the tiger. He took on the personality and like the different things that happened, and that's how it plays out. You can believe either story. I wouldn't be surprised if in issue 6 it's basically it should be her looking in a mirror and seeing a person. And she sees herself as the bear, and she sees these as the other animals that are lesser than herself, and that will be the psychological spin on this. And I think that will be beautiful. I think that would be perfect. And then maybe in a second volume, you see a bit of a backstory. Maybe she did have a cuddly toy bear at the time. Like they could go to all different realms with it, but I believe she sees herself as the
that would be a real interesting twist. Actually,
I'd put money that that's it.
Yeah.
And if it's not the twist, I'm going to write that book.
But seriously, guys, I am gushing here. James, in particular, you need to read this because
I have an hour spare. So
I highly recommend this to anybody watching in the chat. Fuzzy is saying he didn't mind the new Sentry. I've not read that or Thunderbolts yet, but they're both on my list to read, Fuzzy. I'm interested in the Thunderbolts in particular to see what happens with that. Anything you guys want to mention that you've read this week?
That was the only thing that... Oh, I read it last week, but that was the only thing I've read.
No problem.
But I've not been reading it, but I picked up, just because I've been excited about the new Blade game, picked up a couple of Blades.
Okay.
Trade paperbacks of the kind of the original solo series, and then some of the newer stuff as well. So, give them a read and see.
Midnight Suns is very good, James. That's worth a read.
Yeah, I'd like to check that out.
That's pretty cool. What we've been buying. So we'll start off with me, as usual, guys, just so I can put them in the box whilst you guys are talking. I did want to just mention, I've talked about these before, but my good friend Comic Deal, James, sent us these trading cards. Absolutely love them. Huge fan of Thor, as you all know, but the Count Duckula is just friggin' amazing. So I love that. Very, very kind of you, James. I picked up a mystery pack of Marvel books from Sad Lemon. So these are all going to go into the giveaway box tonight. I'll put them in when the guys are chatting. So we've got this. This is I think it's Emma Frost cover. We've got a Mandalorian.
Nice.
Grogu. That's a limited edition. Got an X-23. That's very cool. These are all variants. Catwoman. Nice. And then we've got a shiny Poison Ivy. I think it's Frism. I think. But yeah, so that's a nice one. So they're going in the giveaway box. And after you guys have showed your bits and bobs, we will give away some comics. So, anybody got anything you want to show off?
Shit, I bought nothing. I have nothing to show.
I have a few things. So I've always been. I mean, I've posted a lot of this on Instagram, so I'm sorry for anyone that's already seen it. I've always enjoyed The Matrix as a franchise, and I will defend the original trilogy until the day I die. I do think that it is a superb trilogy. I know a lot of people don't like it after the first one, but nonetheless, there used to be a comic series that ran online before those movies, and they've never really been put into print until more recent times. And this is a hardback edition of those comics.
Nice.
So they did do like a comic giveaway when the film was announced. So there's a first appearance of the Matrix in comics, etc., which a lot of people buy and have slabbed. But this is the collected edition of all the comics. Well, I say all the comics, all bar one. I believe there is one comic that never went to this book. Don't know the reasons why. But there's 28 different online stories now printed in this hardback edition. So this arrived this week. Very happy to have it. I've been eyeing it up for a long while, and then somebody eventually sent me, like an offer thing on eBay. It was at a price that I couldn't really say no to, so I went for that. And then I got this. As you guys know, I love my NECA toys, and I also love my horror movies, and I love John Carpenter's The Thing. And I've had all the various Thing figures over the years, from the movie Maniacs line with McFarlane Toys, and now NECA have picked up the license. And I got the dog figure.
Nice.
Very cool.
And it is ghastly. Like, I love this. it is so vile and disturbing to look at. But it goes so well with the other action figures. They really have done a good job in not ruining it, because I feel like even if NECA were to release the other monsters that I already have that McFarlane done before, I'm still happy with what I've got. Do you know what I mean? I don't feel like I have to upgrade them. So it's nice that they all still fit together. So I'm going to get some nice photos of them later on. I will say it was a pain in the backside to get all those tendrils in.
Oh, right.
Really difficult, because it's so thin. As you're trying to push them into the ball joint sockets, they're bending all over the place and everything. So it's an absolute nightmare. And then finally, in the charity shop today, for 20 pence, I found something that I think you might like, Peter, because it'll probably fit with the 1/6 scale, I believe.
Right.
So I'm going to attempt to paint it, and then it might very well go on display back here. But I found a female lion.
Oh, very cool.
That I believe I'll be able to repaint to be a Cringer.
Nice.
So I saw it and I thought, you know what, I'm going to give that a go. I'll probably have to resculpt the tail just so it was a more rounded tip. But I think that's going to work out quite nicely as a Cringer. Obviously, I have no other.
I was going to say that'd be good, because you're short of a few Cringers, aren't you?
I am, as you guys know.
I reference material for doing it.
Very cool. For 20p, I couldn't say no. And it's either going to work or it isn't. So I haven't really lost anything.
20p, who cares? Do you know what I mean? If it doesn't work, Okay, guys, good stuff. Okay, giveaway time, ladies and gentlemen. So, hashtag free comics in the comments, please, if you want to be in with a chance of winning some free comic books. So, hashtag free comics. We'll give you 5 minutes or so to start doing that, and we'll mention it now and then. But whoever wins will get a pack of cards, a copy of Kev's book, the nearly said the Flash and Blade. That's what you call him, innit? From Blackadder. It's the Weeping Blade, the comic. And then 5 free comic books from the giveaway box. So hashtag free comics, please, guys. We'll ship them anywhere in the world. All you have to be is subscribed to my channel, Luke's channel, and One Good Scare. So please do make sure you subscribe to all of those channels to win. Phil, It's what he's here for. How dare you, sir? How dare you, sir?
He did just
James is
randomly
entering
turn
as
up.
well. James
just
is
wanna
entering.
win. I'm gonna give it away, but I just want
Yeah.
to. I just like to see my name win the thing.
Nope,
I
no,
might keep that
guys.
Star Wars one though.
Guys, you can enter the competitions if you want. This competition, I have no problem sending books to you guys as well. You're here every week, so by all means, enter the competition. Okay, guys. Whilst people are doing that, we'll talk a little bit about what we've been watching this week. I'm sorry to people in the chat who are sick of we're talking about this. I'm sorry to those that didn't enjoy it. Fuzzy, I know you didn't enjoy it. But this last episode of Doctor Who for me, I thoroughly enjoyed. It was the right level, because Doctor Who gets it wrong a lot of the time. It was the right level of silliness, campness, fun, drama, and all the rest of it. Whether I would feel the same if it hadn't had Neil Patrick Harris in it, I don't know, because he literally blew me away, stole the show for me. I thought he was amazing when he did the Spice Girls medley in the start. But his accents, just the start, the German accent when he was the toy seller and stuff, just
isn't that because I can't believe I'm about to throw out a Doctor Who fact here, but isn't that because like in the original appearance of this character, like the Doctor mimicked him, and that's why he's changing his voice constantly, so he can't do that again.
Oh, I don't know, James.
That's
no
why,
idea.
That's why I read that anyway.
Yeah. What did you think of it, James?
I'd never watched any Doctor Who before this. I just watched it because you were banging on, and I said, okay, I'll give it a try. And I overall think Doctor Who's a bit shit. And anything I liked, like I wanted to like it, and it was just fighting me back. But this last episode was really good. I thought, like, I just loved Neil Patrick Harris. He's just having so much fun doing it. And I thought that was great. David Tennant throughout the whole thing is fantastic in it. Some cool ideas, like I like when it gets kind of spooky. Some parts of it were cool, and yeah, the new guy seems really cool as well. So like, it's I'm gonna give that Christmas special a go, and then probably never watch any Doctor Who thing again.
Yeah. And do you know what? I think that's fair, James. I think Doctor Who for me is a guilty pleasure, but there is no denying it is got its fair share of shit episodes. In the last few years, if for a Doctor Who fan, have been a chore. They really have been a chore. I would say the 3 specials haven't been mind blown. Do you know what I mean? I did enjoy this last one more than the others, and I will give the new Doctor a go. But Doctor Who for me over the last few years has been kind of a almost lying on the settee, playing on my phone whilst it's on TV kind of thing. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? I haven't actually really sat and engaged in it. Luke, what did you think?
Yeah, so I've been a Doctor Who fan for many, many years, even before the revival in 2005. I've always liked old school Doctor Who. I've been raised on it for many years, and this 3-part special had a lot working for it, including Neil Patrick Harris, including the new guy who's taking over as the Doctor. It was nice to see David Tennant and Catherine Tate return, although that all being said, I do feel like it done more harm than good. And my reasons for that is I think the Dr. Donna story was so good back when it was released, and her had she have remembered, she would have died and everything else. And I just feel like if you were gonna play that card, then it should have been a death, and it should have been a noteworthy death, and it should have played out that way for that reason of saving the universe and everything else. And I feel like it does need those dark undertones sometimes. Yeah. And again, this is my other problem, because as much as I like the new actor, because I've seen him in many other things before, the new actor who's going to play Doctor Who, I think he's going to knock it out the park. But at the same time, what makes the Doctor such a great character is that he has all that baggage. And the fact now that David Tennant is just sitting there retiring, like, that something's going to happen, and the Doctor would never just sit there and let it happen or wait. Like, he's not really good. It's hard to move on with a new character, because he is now a new character. It's not the Doctor anymore. The Doctor is all of that baggage. And to say that now there's 2 of them, why are we following this new one when R1 is here? Like, that's what I can't, no matter how much I try and think about it, I can't get my head past that. It doesn't matter what story you give me. How can I think he will be great. I think he will be superb, but he's not the same character. He's not the same person.
Yeah.
Especially not when he's still sat there.
Yeah. So I 100% agree. I don't think it's fair to the new guy that you're keeping Tennant around, even though your man Russell Davies came out, I think just today or yesterday, and said, "Oh, we're not planning on bringing him back." It's like bullshit, because you fucking duplicated the TARDIS. Like, obviously,
I feel like it's a get out of jail free card. I feel like if this crashes and burns, they've got a reset that they just carry on from here.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's really unfair for the actor, because I do think that he's going to do a tremendous job. You know, I've seen the stills from the future episodes. I've watched the trailer, and like I say, I know him from other things. He was on the show Sex Education, which I highly recommend if any of you haven't watched that. It's on Netflix. Really funny show.
So, you're both wrong, and I'll tell you why. No, I agree with a lot of what you're saying, but for me, this is like comic book continuity. This is Spider-Man, all right? You've got years and years and years of continuity attached to the Doctor. Too much for your average viewer to read or to get up on. This is a beautiful end to draw a line and say, this guy's now got his happy ever after. He's got a night. He's got your Captain America end. He's gonna sail off into the sunset, which is a hard reset. For this is a new Doctor who starts from scratch, none of the problems attached, and will get those problems as the time goes on. His story just starts, as it were. So I like it in that regard. Someone said to us, it was on the internet, I can't remember, and I really like this idea, is that at one point they say we're Time Lords, we're doing rehab in reverse, which was basically implying that at some point in the future, when the next Doctor dies, David Tennant's character will come back into the frame, into the body. So he's not going to be lasting there forever. He's got his rehab part over. He then goes back to give the next guy his fresh start at life, which I thought was quite interesting.
So my
problem with the show, though, overall, is there's no consequence to anything. Like Luke said earlier, where like your one is about to die, and then the whole time we're told if she finds this thing out, she's gonna die, and then no, she just doesn't die. That's it. And like,
so
the
James,
Doctor's supposed to regenerate, but no, he's gonna regenerate. There's just like they just make up things on the spot. Anything can happen. There's no rules to this world at all. Like.
But like Star Wars, isn't it?
Absolutely not. Star Wars has
So I mean, to say there are no consequences is completely wrong. So if you look at the Doctor's history, a large percentage
I'm looking at these 3 episodes, and there was no consequence to anything in it.
But even the bit where Neil Patrick's standing talking about all the characters who've died.
Oh, Nameless Man 1 and 2, yeah, of course.
Nameless Man 1 and 2. No, where he's talking about Amy Pond, because it's a great scene. Well, that's all right then. When he was doing the puppet show.
But again, I don't know those people because I've not watched those.
All right.
The Amy Pond saga and the River Song and the Rory and all that, it is some of the best writing I've ever seen in a show. And if you were ever going to look back at other Doctor Who, definitely go to that Matt Smith era. That's the only recommendation that I can really give. My problem is, and this is my greatest fear, should they ever invent like teleportation and stuff, it's not about turning into a mutated fly. It's the fact that it's not you. It's a copy of you that remembers your life, but it's not you. And that terrifies me. That idea that, it's like when people say, "Oh, I'll just upload my consciousness into a computer before I die, and I'll live on forever." No, you won't. It's not you. So again, I get what you're saying, maybe that he'll be reabsorbed later on, but I just think that should have happened in this episode. They should have played the game, and then he should have been like, "It's okay, you're good, you're with me now," and then reabsorb him back into himself, and that
I would say the fate of the universe being decided by a game of catch was a bit cack.
Yeah.
I didn't particularly like that bit. Anyway, I think the people in the chat want to move on because they're frightened to have a stroke. Hashtag free comics, guys. If you've not done it already, please do hit hashtag free comics. We're going to draw after our next chat. We mentioned this earlier in the show. I know it's Rotten Tomatoes, and we don't believe a word they say. But
it's not on 9%.
It was when I took this. I think it's increased a little bit. Okay. Saying that, mind James, as usual, I think that the public percentage is higher. I think that's 30 or 40%.
That's always going to be because you have the Die Hard, he can do no wrong kind of fellas, know. So like that's unfortunate. I really wanted this to be a win, to be a great movie.
Now, one of the reasons I've put this up is because I have hit frustration level omega today, because I thought before the show I'll sit and watch this so we can talk about it. I say it just quietly because we're amongst friends. we share my sister-in-law's Netflix account. So I've switched it on today, and the fuckers have done that. You're not part of the household. So I've lost Netflix, the bastards.
Is it
So-
Netflix you pay for?
I've just said, no, my sister-in-law pays for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, well
So-
then get your own Netflix. Stingy man. Why are you upset? It's your
Because it's a bloody disgrace. It's a
Get your
bloody
own fucking
disgrace.
Netflix.
Yeah. So no, not managed to watch this
Is
yet.
this out though? I didn't know. I thought it was
Yeah,
out
I
till
think
the-
so. Yeah. Have any of you guys watched it?
No, I didn't know it was out. I don't even know if I have time today. I might. How long is it? Is it 2 hours or something? Is it?
I don't know. I haven't watched it.
I'll give it a watch in the next couple. I've been excited for this. So like, even with the bad reviews, I'll try and like it. Yeah.
I mean, I have to say that the trailers looked great, you know, and I like the acting talent in it. So yeah, IPTV is your friend. You have to check that one out. Frustration level Omega. Oh, Pad Bear Scene's not out here until the 22nd.
Yes. Okay. I thought
That's
so.
another interesting thing, Pad Bear, because I went to watch Percy Jackson, because I see that's getting fantastic reviews, and it's not out in the UK yet. It's only out in America. That frustrates us. I don't know why they do that.
unusual,
But,
isn't
yeah.
it? Usually it's
But
simultaneous.
apparently it's getting really good reviews, Percy Jackson, so I have to go and watch that.
Yeah.
Oh well, I've got time to get Netflix sorted or to check out whatever it is that Phil's telling us to check out. Before we do that, then we'll do the giveaway. Let me just share my screen. We'll just get rid of this. This is where it goes tits up. Share screen. Never know how to do this properly. There we are. Okay, can you guys see that? Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, so we'll do the draw. 10 people entered. Let's see what we get. If James Keegan wins this, I kick off like. Yay! A worthy winner,
Nobody more
Fuzzy
deserving.
of the Dunlop. Good stuff. Well done, Fuzzy. I am pleased that you have. Actually, no. Change my mind. Change my mind, Fuzzy. We're gonna revote it, mate.
Reroll.
We're gonna revote it. Okay, Fuzzy. So we'll do our usual shenanigans, ladies and gents. Let us get myself all big on the screen. Oh. Chaps, tell us when to stop. Luke, you go first.
Stop.
Front or back?
Back.
Back. James,
Stop.
front or back?
Front.
Luke,
Stop.
front or back?
Front.
And James,
The very end one. The one
very
nearest to you.
end one. Front or back? The very.
Back. The one nearest to you.
And last one to you, Luke.
Stop.
Front or back?
Back.
Lovely. Okie dokie. So Fuzzy, you get a pack of cards. You get your Weeping Blade. I can't remember if you've got one of these. You can have another one if you want it, but let us know if you don't want it. And your books. So let's have a look. See, we have got. What the shit is that?
Power Rangers.
Oh, Power Rangers. You've got a Power Rangers book, Fuzzy.
You probably paid £4 for that, man. Like you don't
I have
even
no
know.
idea.
Why-
I think this was when Not Quite Mint was kind of doing they were wrapping up business or whatever, and I think I got a load of these. I hope you like Fuzzy. I hope you like Fuzzy. No, Power Rangers Fuzzy. I hope the Power Rangers like Fuzzy as well. Oh, that's nice. That's old school X-Men. X-Men King Size Annual number 6.
That looks really clean, actually.
Yeah, really nice copy. Storm
Mylar?
is a vampire and Dracula on the front. That's nice. I like that one. Next. Oh, that's nice. I know you love
That's
your
that's
Moon
a
Knight.
key, isn't it? What I can't remember
is.
what.
I'm annoyed I didn't win now.
So this is the first appearance of the Midnight Man, I think. This bloke, I think. So he was meant to be a big villain in the Moon Knight show, which didn't happen.
The actor passed away, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
he was
yeah,
in-
the
he
actor
was in one
died,
episode,
yeah.
wasn't he? Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, that's a nice one for us. Oh, one of those Frizzens. I think I've got 2 of the box now. Foil, Frizzen cover, all that Frizzen shininess. This one's got a certificate, Fuzzy. Bit of Black Panther. This is the Black Panther
Gleason.
Gleason exclusive, Virgin exclusive. So very nice. So there you go. So you'll get that. You get the cards. And you get the weeping blade. There we are, sir. So, Fuzzy, I know I've got your address, but just send us your address again, please. And we'll... send us your address again and we'll get it sent to you as soon as possible, mate. First Midnight Man, that's right. Just going to quickly jump to the chat. Everybody's saying well done to Fuzzy. Well done. Phil, can I buy a Weeping Blade off you? I understand you bought the lot. I've got a few copies left.
Keep it.
Just a few.
Just a few copies left.
All one back from me there because I actually haven't read it either.
How rude. No, we'll not.
Sorry.
Yeah, of course, mate. Of course. Let's have a look. First Midnight Man. That's right, bud. Fab. Okay, Fuzz. Let us know, mate, your address, and we'll get those sent out to you as soon as possible. Okay. It's Christmas. Shall we do another one as well? Let's do another giveaway.
Right,
we'll do another one as well. Let us just load it up. Oh man, I've lost the tool.
I mean, if you're going to go to the post office, you might as well.
Exactly. How do I don't know what I'm doing.
Now, can Fuzzy win again? Is the question.
No, Fuzzy's won. He's cheated no one but himself. He's won once. Just bear with us. Let's do hashtag.
I love it because anyone who left after they didn't win doesn't get a second chance.
Yeah.
I know, right?
Right.
Best part.
We're going to do
have to
nothing
stick around
but
to the end.
giveaways for the rest of the show. We've still got another hour.
Right, hashtag giveaway, and we'll do that near the end of the show. So hashtag giveaway for some more comics later on. Okay, so Kung Fu Panda. I didn't even bloody know there was a fourth one coming out. Did you guys watch the trailer for this?
Yes, I did. And I'll top you with that because I didn't even know they had made another two. Like I have only ever seen the first one.
Right.
So I have no idea. Are the other two good? Like this looked really good. This looked funny.
That long since I've seen it, to be honest.
But I have only ever seen the first.
Yeah. I mean, what did you think of the trailer?
I thought the trailer was really good, but I do think they showed too much. And I get it. You know, again, that's what they do nowadays, and I guess for a kids' film even more so. But I don't think you needed to see so many jokes because I feel like some of those were probably the best of the movie, and you've now already seen them.
Yeah. What did you think, James?
So I've never seen any Kung Fu Panda stuff.
Really?
At all. Yeah, never watched it. So like this was just, I forget almost what happened already. I don't know any of these characters at all.
I mean,
It was funny. You had funny moments with them. Like,
yeah, there are some fun scenes in it. Will I rush to the cinema to see it? No, but it's not really aimed at me. I did like the last few, but it's kind of the joke's running out a little bit now. He's a fat lazy panda.
oh, I'm
do you
a
know what I mean?
panda that knows Kung Fu. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's, like,
it's kinda-
how many times can you do that now?
Yeah. Efren saying Jack Black is perfect in it. Yeah.
Yeah,
What I would say if you want to see something really funny, I think it was for MTV Movie Awards. There's an MTV Movie Awards where Jack Black and is it for this or is it for it's for what was the film they all did together? Jack Black, Ben Stiller, and Robert Downey Jr.
Oh, Tropic Thunder.
Tropic Thunder.
So good.
Yeah, it's where they do a skit thing of Tropic Thunder of the three of them talk and trying to entertain Jack Black's nephew or something like that. And it is hilarious. And he wears the panda costume at one point. And it's very, very funny. It's well worth watching. Pad Bear, absolutely flogging a dead panda. Fuzzy, yeah, it's the same people, mate. Same characters in it. Same actors, voice talent. It was all right. It's not something I'm going to rush and break my neck to see, but it was okay. Now, here's an old one, a blast from the past. This has just recently come onto Paramount Plus. So I sat and watched this today because I couldn't watch the Zack Snyder film, just to see if it was as good as it was in my head, because I know we really gushed about it, James. There's no denying it's cheesy and there are some cack bits in it. The latter half of the film is still superb. But when I sat and watched it with a more objective eye, you can almost see that they've just taken the script for Endgame and just rubbed out, the Avengers.
But it's like actors Endgame.
But it's like ridiculously so obvious. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. It's like almost shot for shot. Yeah. But I did enjoy it. The bit again that got us really excited was the G.I. Joe link at the end. Luke, have you seen this one yet?
I still haven't watched it, so this is one that I have on my radar. This is one that I'm intending to watch because of people who have told me how great it is. But I've been burnt so many times.
You might be getting oversold on it a bit. Like it's good. It's all right. It's pretty.
I mean,
compared to
even that first Transformers movie, I always think to myself, "Oh, it's not as bad as I remember," and it is every time, and I fall for it every time. I want to give it a go. I want to enjoy it. But it's not for me. I mean, I'd still rather just play with the toys or go back and watch the old animated cartoon.
Yeah, I mean, I watched this on the back of the fact that I talked to Tom from the Killer Comic Show on Thursday in detail about the recent Transformers comic, which is just getting Prime perfect. And we talked about how Michael Bay had screwed over the character of Prime. And it made us think, I can't remember what Prime's like in this movie. So I went back and watched it. He's an absolute bellend. He's just vile. Yeah. Oh, just shouting at humans, I can't trust them. He's just...
I'll kill you.
Yeah. It's just awful. Absolutely awful. Yeah. So it was interesting to watch again. Yeah. But I hadn't, again, one of the reasons I watched it, because I hadn't realised it's the guy from Hamilton, isn't it? That's playing one of the lead characters.
I told you that, and he's in The Heights. He stars in that, so that's like another Lin-Manuel Miranda thing, like a movie version of it with Melissa Barrera from Scream.
Yeah,
that's so. Yeah, you should give that a go. It's really good.
It's interesting. A decent movie. Just a reminder to everybody: put hashtag giveaway into the comment section for tonight's comic giveaway. Okay, moving on, guys. This again, I didn't even know this was a friggin' thing. So this is If, which stands for Imaginary Friend. It's a film that's out, so obviously it stars Ryan Reynolds, because I think he's in everything these days. Trailer is interesting. It gave us Fuzzy, if you're still in the chat, it gave us kind of like a child's version or a kiddier version of the book we're both obsessed with, Something Epic, where basically, imagination and imaginary friends and things like that all exist and live alongside with, which I thought was interesting, because that's very much the theme of Something Epic. Okay, what did you think of it?
I get it, because it's an imaginary friend, and it's much like when you can show something alien. It doesn't matter if the CGI is a bit rough or a bit off, but to me it was quite jarring. Like, it doesn't feel real, and I know that's silly to say because it's an imaginary friend.
It's not tangible. It's not like it's actually there in the room.
Yeah. But equally, I feel like the best film that we've ever had about an imaginary friend we already have, which is Drop Dead Fred.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I loved Drop Dead Fred, but I thought this looked fun. I have to say, I'm not sure. I'm not sure. The voice of If, the big purple thing, what do you call him? The actor who did The Office, Steve Carell. It didn't fit.
It looks like Grimace from McDonald's.
Yeah.
When I watched it, my initial thought was, do kids still have imaginary friends? Like, I feel like that's more nostalgia for us older people who weren't so fixated on technology and having our minds racing about all the time. Like, I feel like kids had imaginary friends because of boredom, right? And I don't think kids are ever bored anymore. Do kids still have imaginary friends? I mean, I work in a school and I've never seen that happen. Like,
I mean, these days we call it psychosis, don't we?
Well, that's the problem, isn't it? Like, I personally never had an imaginary friend, but it was very much a topic in movies and in stories. It was kind of in the zeitgeist.
You just probably killed them and put them under the bed or something, didn't you?
Peter, I don't even have real friends, let alone imaginary ones. It was. I don't know if I felt anything for us. James, what about you? Did you
feel anything for this movie?
The trailer itself, it's like there's not much in it. I'm like, oh yeah, amazing. Like I am excited for this based on the pedigree of the director. It's John Krasinski. Who did The Quiet Place, who's a phenomenal director.
Amazing.
So if this is something he wrote and directed, if he wanted to do this, I'm sure there's a good thing there. I would have confidence in that. Like Spielberg did Jaws and then E.T., so maybe that's why he's going for this is going to be his E.T., I guess. So that's the exciting part of it for me, I think. Is
I will say I did get a giggle at the end, mind, when he was saying, "Don't look him in the eye," and she goes, "You know which eye?" That was probably the best bit of the trailer. But I think you're both right. I think for me, this'll live or die on, and it sounds silly because it's imaginary creatures, but it'll live or die on how well those special effects integrate with the movie. Do you know what I mean? If it looks out of place and not, I don't know.
I feel like just everything, like what you said, Ryan Reynolds, everyone's just banking on him and his name and everything else to drive the movie. It's, I don't know.
We'll see. Okay, guys, we're coming to the end of the show. Hashtag giveaway, please, in the comments. You've got to be subscribed to all 3 channels, and we will give away some books at the very end of the show. So before we do that, just a quick mention that any donations or any ad revenue we get from this channel go to mental health charities. We're going to be doing a kind of a state of play, I guess, tell you where we're up to with that in a couple of months' time. It'll not surprise you to say that money trickles in very, very slowly. So once we've got a decent amount, we'll talk about that and do a show about it. We're also talking about potentially myself and Perpetual Comics doing some work together to try and raise some funds for mental health as well. On my channel, a few things to mention. Doom Monarch 1/6 scale action figure was just in me geek cave today, and I realised I've still got that in the light box, and I kind of got a shock when I was walked in into how good the figure actually looks. It's taken a lot of stick, this figure, and even in my video I said it's not perfect, but actually the presence of him just standing looked amazing. So yeah, I'm really impressed with that. I did a little video about talking to Max, the creator of Stellar Lands, a little while ago. Please do go check that out and check out his book. And then I did a video yesterday or the day before about a comic book I've picked up, which is signed by a bona fide Hollywood legend. So please do go check that one out as well. Chuffed to bits with that book. Going to get that verified. I mean, it's already verified, but I'm going to get that graded, I think. So yeah, a nice book to have. Just to mention, Killer Comic Show is every Thursday at 9 p.m. Please go and support the show. It's been going for a long time now, and the guys put an awful lot of effort into it. So please do go check that out. Would appreciate your views. Do comic book reviews, pick covers of the week, all that kind of stuff. It's worth a watch. Next Monday coming, we're doing our Art Attack show, which is going to be Christmas based. So Efren and James will be pulling together a whole host of Christmas related challenges for the guys. So looking forward to doing that. And then the Saturday after that, we're going to have our final show of the year, our Christmas hangout, where we'll be inviting a whole host of people on just to talk general geeky, nerdy stuff and just have a bit of a laugh. I'll probably throw some games in there as well, so we'll have a bit of fun with that one. One good scare, James. Tell me about what we've got on the channel at the moment, then I've got a slide for what's coming up.
Yeah, so last week we had I'll Be Right Back on Silent Night Deadly Night, so that was good fun. We had One Good Scare live just yesterday. So that went really well. Talked about the new Blade games, some new kind of horror games announced, some Saw 11 announced, and some other kind of stuff on it. Also talked about like big horror movies we haven't seen, so I thought that was an interesting conversation. So that was good fun. There's shorts on the channel as well, you can check out. And then next Friday we have I'll Be Right Back on Black Christmas 2006, which I'm editing at the moment, and it's a really funny conversation. Like, I think it was the most heated, I think, and like passionate both of us have spoken on the movie, so that was really good fun.
I mean, that image there, just
yeah, that says all, doesn't it?
Jesus, honestly. Have you seen that one, Luke, that movie?
I haven't, no.
Lucky.
No, I need to check that out.
Yeah.
No, you don't. You don't. Check out our review of it.
Yeah,
don't
watch
check
it, then watch the review, then never watch it again. So
yeah. Luke, what have we got coming up over on Hydra Collectibles?
again, like I said a couple of weeks ago, not a whole lot. Things here have been a bit hectic, a bit all over the place, but more is coming. I would like to take this opportunity just to thank everyone that is continuing to support the channel, because I'm very happy that I surpassed the 2,000 subscriber mark, and a few of my videos are really taking off. So again, huge thank you to everyone who is allowing that to happen. But yeah, there will be more coming, rest assured. But again, whether it's this side of Christmas remains to be seen.
Yeah, huge congratulations, Luke, on hitting that 2,000, mate. Well deserved. You've been putting out great content, so congratulations on that. Okay, ladies and gents, giveaway, hashtag giveaway, last chance to get your names in, and we're going to call it in a couple of seconds. As ever, guys, thank you very much for spending Saturday night with us. This has been good fun. I've enjoyed tonight. Always a good laugh, talking nerdy, geeky stuff with you chaps. Okay, let's crack on and see who wins. And our winner tonight is Werewolf by Lunchtime. Australia, isn't he? Fuck. Congratulations, Werewolf, my friend. If you're still in the chat, let us know your address, please. Drop that in the comments, guys. I'm just going to pick 5 at random rather than make you stop and all that kind of stuff. So we'll get as big on the screen.
Pick the 5 shittest ones, is it?
I'll just pick 5 out. Oh, that one's not even in the bag. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and a weapon blade, and a box of cards. Okay, so Werewolf, please do send us your address, and we'll get these sent over. Bad Bear, yeah, proper Australian, not like you, mate. You're a fake Australian from Wales, aren't you? Yeah. Okay, so Werewolf, you get an upside down set of cards. You get a set of DC trading cards. You get the Weeping Blade comic book by our good friend Kev Wells, which is tremendous, by the way. And the comics you are going to be getting. Oh, nice. I like that. DC versus Vampires, issue number 1. That's a very cool comic. Interesting series, that. Quite like that one. So that's coming your way. We've got X-23 variant cover. We have got, ooh, nice, Edge of Spider-Verse number 3 variant edition. That's a good book. We have got a Gleason. Good old Gleason cover.
I'm so surprised that they've never done that cover before. Like all these years of doing like a web spider.
It's
like,
such a clever design, isn't it?
It's so good.
Yeah, it's such a clever design. Werewolf, I prize, tag, pass point, save you somebody. Mate, I'll send them to Australia. It's no bother at all. Trust us. So just send us your address. It's fine. Ooh, filth. Filth. We've got a foil cover of Nort's swimsuit special.
Why are you buying that, Peter?
I didn't. Honest. This came in a. I buy a lot of boxes of variant covers just for this box, and it came in that. But it's basically one of those old swimsuit editions where it's got all the superheroes in the.
You had to flip through it though, didn't you?
Oh yeah, some of the
pages are a
might
bit
be
stuck now.
stuck together. Yeah, it's all right. Once it's graded, you'll not notice. You know what I mean? Then it'll be wipeable. So yeah. No, that's a nice one. So yeah, good stuff. Okie dokie. Yeah, Phil, sticky pages. Quite right. Right, Werewolf. Instagrammers your address, bud, and I'll get those sent out to you. I might not get those ones out to you until after Christmas. It'll depend how I work out postage, because I don't know if you have to do customs things for Australia and stuff, do you? I'm not
Just
sure.
mark it as a gift, you'll be fine.
Yeah. Just drop us something wrong with you, Lord Fuzzy saying. Drop us your address, bud. Okay, that's your whack, guys. We'll call it there. That is your whack. Thank you very much to Luke and James for jumping on tonight. It's always is a pleasure to spend time with you guys, and a huge thank you to everybody that's been in the chat, commenting as we've gone along. And with that, we'll catch you all next time. So take care, everyone. Bye bye.